Enemies in video games are important because they give the character a challenge or an obstacle to go through. Sometimes they can have very complex systems and add a bit of spice to the game.
You won't get away from me!
So the idea behind each enemy inside Frostbite is to take a human and combine it with a creature. So my first enemy will be the combination of a centipede and a human. I call him Senti. The idea behind his system overall is to have multiple states that are interconnected. So for example, Senti is just chilling in the idle state till the character gets close enough and it's on eyesight. And then he goes to the chasing state. And all of this is possible through the Finite state machine. But more on that later. Let's focus on the art. Yeehaw! And like the last video, I did the concept art behind the enemy. On a side note, the original concept art was like this, but because of the changes on the art style, I just made it simpler. Then I just took it directly to Blender. The model itself is easy to make. The difficult part was the overall 3D rigging. You can see a bit of an explanation of rigging on my last video. After having bones, we can now officially start animating, but something that I learned for this character is how to make IK, inverse kinematics. If you're interested in learning a bit more on inverse kinematics, you can definitely check the description with some resources that I gathered. The idea is to make some connections between bones, make them calculate their precision, rotation and direction according to the full chain. And with that, you don't need to animate the whole arm bone by bone. And I just did some fancy animations like last time in the whole timeline, and we can just take it directly to Unity. Now let's talk about state machines. This is the first time that I do finite state machines. To be honest, I just took this tutorial and used it for the overall beginning of state machines. And once having the overall idea how it works, I just plan out how Senti would react and act when the character gets close. The idea is that Senti is just chilling in the hood, you know. Then Cornelius comes near. Senti goes crazy like, "Hey, what up, bro? What are you doing in my hood, bro?" Then Senti just runs like crazy towards the character. Once Senti is close enough, he will make a big melee attack. But if in the process of chasing the character Cornelius gets far enough, then Senti gets back to the idle state. That is the overall state machine that I built around Senti, and the implementation was easy, because I used things like pathfinding from Unity Snap Mesh system, and the implementation of a 3D model with animations was easy, because mostly was Animator transitions of Unity, and it was between the same states as the code. And just put it on top of the Anime AI box, where I coded the state machines, connect the state machines with the Animator, and well, that was most of the things that I did, and there are things to be implemented in the future like the health system and other types of enemies that will add more spice to the game.